Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today opening up the Chronicles Structure Deck, the Fallen and the Virtuous, all foil edition. So I'm really excited to open up this set with you guys because this set directly supports Albaz and Ecclesia, which is so cool about this structure deck. Even giving us some amazing support for Brandon and even a new Albaz fusion monster. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. So without further ado, let's go ahead and open up these structure decks. So I'm super excited to open these up with you guys because there's actually the chance that we're going to pull a Starlight Rare in every single deck, which is so cool about these. And yes, I will be doing a budget build just using these structure decks on the channel, so definitely be on the lookout for that. But let's go ahead and see what our first card actually is, and it's going to be the Dragon that Devours the Dogma, which is actually the new branded fusion monster, which is so cool. So it's really cool that we actually got this. We're gonna be opening up both of these in the video, so stay tuned for that. But let's go ahead and look at these actual cards. But before we do, let's go ahead and check out the playmat. The playmat is so cool, and it's actually based on a card called the Fallen and the Virtuous, which is so cool. It has Ecclesia and Albaz on the card in their first meeting, which is so awesome. And it's awesome this actually is based on the Chronicles anime that they've been releasing on YouTube. If you guys have not checked that out, you definitely should. But let's go ahead and see what's in this structure deck. And remember, it's all foil, which is awesome. So first off, we have our awesome looking actual fusion monster, which looks incredible, and I'm so excited for this card. This card is called the Dragon that Devours the Dogma, and it's so cool. This is just a secret rare version, but you can get Starlight Rare versions, and there are 6 different cards that you can actually get a secret rare in this deck, which is super cool. And I think that's a very good way to actually have a really cool promo in the decks. But we also have a Fallen of Albaz. We have the incredible Ecclesia, which is awesome. We have a Luber, Blazing Cartesia. You just have some really good reprints in this actual structure deck, which is just awesome. Albion, which is incredible. You have just some really insane cards like Cartesia. You have Guiding Quim. You have Spriggan's Kit. You have Mercurier, which is also a part of the Albaz lore, which is just so cool to actually see. Despian Tragedy. There's one of the really good reprints we actually get in here, which is the Bestial Lubellium. We get Bestial Magnuma, Bestial Sawnir, and Druis Worm. You get all of those, and then we have some awesome alternative arts in here as well, like Dogmatica, Ecclesia, the Virtuous, which is so cool to actually have an alternative art. And this is actually directly from the anime, where we actually get a scene just like this, where she's talking to Fleur-de-Lis, which is insane. We also have an alt art of Fleur-de-Lis when she's actually going up against Shirog, which is super cool. We have Dogmatica, Maximus, Nibiru is a really good reprint as well in here. Keeper of Dragon Magic is an amazing reprint because you can actually search out branded fusion. Here's one of the new cards, the Fallen and the Virtuous, that the actual playmat is actually based around. This card is evil. This card is always treated as a branded and a dogmatic card, and you can activate one of these effects. Either send a monster that mentions Fallen of Albaz from your extract to the graveyard, and then target a face-up card on the field and destroy it. Or if you have an Ecclesia monster in your field or graveyard, target a monster in either player's graveyard and special summon it to your side of the field, either being a pop to be able to use this card as a disruption, or being able to use this card to basically use it as a monster reborn. So this card is going to be great inside the branded deck. We then also have Branded Fusion, one of my favorite cards in the entire game. And definitely comment down below what your favorite monster to summon out with Branded Fusion actually is. Mine is actually Red Eye's Dark Dragoon, as you can easily summon it out to your side of the field using a fusion substitute monster, like a copy of Versago the Destroyer, plus Fallen of Albaz, step into a fusion monster, and then step into Red Eye's Dark Dragoon, which is insane. But this card is just really good, and one of my favorite cards in the entire game. Hopefully, we eventually get this card back to 3. It's just such a cool card. We then also have Branded in White, We have branded in red, which is super cool because we actually have Albaz and Aluber, which is just really cool on both of these. And I love this actual deck is all Ultra. That's just super cool. It does make the deck a little bit more expensive because these are actually $20 a piece, but it's well worth it for all the awesome cards you actually get. And the reprints are amazing because we also get some really good spell reprints. But we have branded in High Spirits. We have branded Loss, which is awesome to have it as an ultra rare. Branded Regain, which works with our Bystials. Nadir's Servant. We have branded Bond, which is awesome. Fusion Deployment alternative artwork looks incredible. And I absolutely love that, where you have Blazing Cartesia and Fallen of Albaz. That is absolutely insane. And it's just such a good artwork, where Ecclesia has just been corrupted by the Despia, which is crazy. It's such a good artwork and so cool. We also have Triple Tactics Thrust, which is well worth just picking up the structure deck for this. And it's an awesome alternative art to Triple Tactics Thrust, where you're actually getting the Tri-Brigade on it, which is just so cool to actually see. And this is actually one of my favorite alternative arts besides like Blazing Cartesia, but this card is so cool to actually see as a actual like really good ultra rare. And also this card can be a secret rare in this, like your copy of the Dragon that Devours the Dogma. We also have Foolish Burial. That's a really good one. Gold Sarcophagus. Super Polys, an awesome actual reprint in here. We have for our traps, we're getting into Branded Retribution, Branded Banishment, which is basically like a Super Poly trap, Branded Sword, Branded Beast, which helps us pop cards, the Black Goat Laughs. There's so much value in these structure decks, really. Having the Black Goat Laughs, Triple Tactics Thrust, your Bystial Lubellions, there's just so many good cards in here. Like just really good cards in here. There's branded or Dogmatic Punishment, Fusion Duplication. This is actually funny because a lot of actual branded players tech this in, so they included this as basically a cool staple to recognize that players have been using this inside of the branded deck. We also have the Dragon that Devours the Dogmatica, or Dogma. That's really cool because you can actually see both of them, where you get the secret rare version and you get the ultra rare version, which is just super cool. This is our promo. This is what it looks like as an ultra rare, which is just awesome that you can get multiple rarities of these cards. You can also get them in Starlight Rare if you get lucky, which is just super cool. We also have Mirror Jade, which looks a little darker. These actually look a little bit darker for fusions, which is really cool. Usually they're a little bit lighter of a purple, and I'm really digging it. They almost look like Euro prints, which is just really cool for these. But this is actually really, really cool. This is actually Mirror Jade. We have Albion. This is actually the way I summon out my copy of Red Eyes Dark Dragoon I use for Sago, plus a Fallen of Albaz to make this card, then just shuffle for Sago and either this or Fallen of Albaz back in the deck, and then you summon out Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. We then have Albulanitas, which is a pretty cool contact fusion monster. We have Titaniclad, which is one of the first actual fusion monsters that we got. We have Brigran, which is super cool because it's actually appeared in the Chronicles anime, which is super cool. Sprint, it's awesome to finally see an ultra rare version of Sprint. This card was previously, I think, just a common, so it's great to actually see get a rarity bump. Ridbraum, which is actually how I use the Chimera cards with Fallen of Albaz, which is awesome. Grand Gagnol, the Dusk Dragon. This card is super cool to actually see as a reprint, but that is actually all of the cards that you're going to get in here. And the alternative arts for you guys is actually going to be really insane because you get 6 different alternative arts between these two, your copies of your fusion deployment and your copy. I believe you get 4 different alternative arts in here actually, where you get fusion deployment, triple tactics thrust, and you get all 4 of these as actual alternative arts, which is really cool. And then we have 2 new cards in this structure deck as well, which is really, really neat because we actually have the Fallen and the Virtuous, and we have this awesome new fusion monster, which I actually got as a promo in the deck, which is really cool to actually see. And these, I believe, are the ones you can actually get as Starlight rares in the set as well, that you can actually pull as promos. And we're going to open up all of the structure decks in this video to show you guys exactly what we get, and hopefully we actually get a Starlight. So we're going to go ahead and see really quickly, guys. We're going to go ahead and open up both of our other structure decks and see if we can actually get a Starlight rare. Now that we've gone through the structure deck, it's well worth it to get basically 3 of these if you want to build Branded Despia. The staples like Triple Tactics Thrust, Nibiru, cards like Super Polymerization, they're just really, really good to be able to get for some really insane actual reprints. I mean, there's just such good cards in this actual set. But let's go ahead and see what our second promo actually is. And I will be doing a build with 3 of these structure decks, which is going to be a $60 budget build of this. We're actually going to do that. Let's go ahead and see what our second promo is, but definitely be on the lookout for that video today, guys. We're actually going to be building a full-fledged deck that you can build with just the cards that you get out of 3 of these structure decks. But our second promo is actually going to be a Dogmatika Fleur-de-Lis the Knighted. And it's actually not going to be a Starlight rare, but that's still really cool to actually get a Fleur-de-Lis. And this is our last chance. Let's go ahead and see if we get a Starlight rare in the third one. Hopefully at least we get a Triple Tactics Thrust. That would be insane to actually get a copy of Thrust. And I'd love that. That'd be so cool to actually see. But let's go ahead and see what we get for our third one. Can it be a Starlight? Come on. Let's see if it's a Starlight, guys. Definitely like the video, guys. And let's go ahead and see what we get. And our last one is Fusion Deployment. Oh, that's my favorite alternative art. That's super cool to actually get a Fusion Deployment. That's really, really cool to actually see. We didn't get a Starlight rare, but we did get Fusion Deployment. That's one of my favorite alternative arts ever in the entire game, and that's super cool to actually get. But definitely be on the lookout, guys, because we are going to actually build a deck just using these on the screen, guys, which we're just going to use cards from this actual deck, which is so cool. But this is such a cool structure deck, and I hope they keep doing this where they do all foil structure decks with some pretty good reprints in them, which I really like. Like, just some notable reprints for you guys is Lubellion. We have cards like Magnuma. That one's a really good reprint. We have other cards in here that are really good reprints like Nibiru. We have Branded Fusion, which is a pretty good reprint as well, even though it's probably been printed a lot. Nadir's Servant is a really good staple that we can use in a lot of stuff. Super Polymerization is great as a reprint. And then those are basically the main reprints to take away from this. Maybe Druid's Worm as well, I would say. Probably Druid's Worm would be a really good one as well. That's a great staple. But these are just really good reprints. And Branded is just going to keep getting support because it's one of the most popular actual lores that we've ever had for a deck. And they've even like turned it into an anime and the Chronicles anime on YouTube. So we're definitely going to see more support for it. So it's pretty much future-proofed as well, which is really nice. But hopefully we see Branded Fusion go back to 3 eventually. It'll be so cool. But that's going to do this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell there so you can come part of Notification Squad, and definitely be on the lookout for the budget build of the Chronicles deck, Fallen in the Virtuous, where I'm going to be using 3 of these decks to be able to build one awesome deck. So definitely be on the lookout for that video. So without further ado, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell there so you can come part of Notification Squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.